participated, but I think Hardin Valley has a lot to say about that. Here's a high pop-up kick once again. This time the fair catch is made, and this time they do make it. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Hawks right in front of the Oak Ridge sideline. We are broadcasting from the bleachers here, and not only is it going to be a long night, it'll probably take us an hour to break down all the stuff that we have up here in the bleachers here. They'll probably turn the lights off. If you remember, last time we were here, we kind of misplaced a camera. We found it. Tonight, we've broken a camera.
Our cameras don't tend to do well at Hardin Valley. Our cameramen don't either. It always rains and storms. I mean, does anything go right in Hardin Valley?
Well, let's get a win. We won the last time we were here, so maybe we'll get a win here. 3:52 to play first half, 20-0. Here comes Hardin Valley. This time they're going to be under center this time. First time in this game, I think. Handoff goes to the back, and he is met in the middle part of the line. Isaiah Boone there for the stop, along with a couple others. Wildcats. You know, Coach Gaddis was telling me something about the defensive line. You talked about Ethan Hewitt being a good offensive lineman. He said he could be one of the best defensive linemen if we let him play that position. They'd rather not have the lineman go both ways.
Yeah, David, and it usually wears them out. They're the ones that, to their credit, are kind of in the trenches all the time. But you'd like to see them at some point in the year.
Handoff goes to the back once again, and once again, nothing fancy. They don't want to make any mistakes here, just straight up the gut running, and they didn't get a whole lot. It'll be 3rd down. Do you think about calling a timeout? It's 3rd down at about 5, 3:06 to play.
I think you call one on the next one because obviously they're trying to run the clock out, and as Oak Ridge, you've been able to move the ball, especially through the air tonight. Mitchell's probably got close to 200 yards passing, and so why not try to call a timeout after this play?
We'll have a full recap of the stats coming up at halftime. 3rd down 5. Pitch will go to the back this time. This time he tries to get wide, and he is knocked down again. And the angle, it looks like he's about 2 yards short. And I believe it'll bring up 4th and 2. I can't really see exactly from the angle. They're going to move it. It is going to be 4th down and about 3 yards to go. And it looks like the punt team will come on, and Jalen Hayward will drop back to receive the punt. 2:39 to play. Timeout indeed was asked for. Remember, at halftime we'll have a scoring summary. Mark will do that for us. We'll have the statistics as well. I don't know, maybe some interviews here. We still got a lot of fans here who kind of, the good thing about it, we just went to our cars and stayed a little dry. Everybody was safe and sound here. They made us leave. We have a really big setup here in the bleachers here. We had to leave it all here in the rain and the lightning, but it was here when we came back.
Yeah, David, I think even during that rain delay, if you were in Oak Ridge, you would still have time to get in your car and make it to the game, or even if you were at the game, you might have had time, go home, make some popcorn, come back. I mean, you never know.
It'll be Oak Ridge back to receive the kick. We appreciate Brian Bennett once again. I don't remember how many years it is, but Brian's been back at the station a lot of years now. Appreciate him pushing all the buttons, having a long night here. We're pushing 10 o'clock here, and we're not even at halftime yet. Hopefully we'll have an abbreviated halftime. The Hardin Valley Band is here. I'm sure they'll be performing. Hey, we're standing back at around the 35-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about 3 yards to go. Snap is good. Punt is away. Wobbly kick. Jalen should be able to return it. He's got plenty of room. Fields it at the 25. Cuts inside. Moves the ball to the 30. Jalen Hayward moves the ball to the 35-yard line. And that is where he's tackled. And that is where Oak Ridge's offense will come onto the field. Why don't you set those offensive linemen once again for the Wildcats?
The linemen for the Wildcats include left tackle Ethan Hewitt, left guard Robert Hill, center Walker Rice, right guard Vinny West, and right tackle Carson Staggs. Your running back Kendall Jackson, your quarterback Mitchell Gibbons, your receivers are Jonathan Stewart and Preston Turner, who have had great nights so far for the Wildcats, and your slots are Jaden Williams and Jalen Hayward.
Yeah, well, here come the Wildcats quickly up to the line. I can't get a word in edgewise here as the Wildcats have it 1st down, 10 yards to go. Mitchell's running, cuts up the field and heads towards the sideline and goes out at the 40-yard line. That's a gain of about 5 on the play. Stops the clock at 2:19 to play. First half, 20-0 is our score.
Yeah, really smart move there by Mitchell, and I think he's probably very deceptive as a runner. Once he gets out in the open, he can show how much speed he has. We saw that at Mount Juliet last year, but very wise of him to get out of bounds and save some clock there.
Wildcats up once again. They'll have a wing to the right. They have two receivers, this time split to the left. Kendall Jackson, the running back, lots of pressure. Mitchell avoids the sack once again. He's running again. He's across midfield, actually at midfield. He's pushed out of bounds, but not before he picks up a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down right at the 48-yard line. Mitchell looked fast right there.
Yeah, David, he did, and I think he was really trying to roll out right. He had Jonathan Stewart and I think Jaden Williams there out on a two different patterns there, a little bit of a levels pattern. Just couldn't get out to that side and ended up rolling back.
Wildcats have it first and 10, 2:12 to play. Second quarter, Oak Ridge in the lead, 20-0 over Hardin Valley. I want to talk about Hardin Valley when we come back at how good they are. I'm telling you, the Wildcats look good here, honestly. A lot of good things I've seen here in the first half. Wildcats, Mitchell Gibbons from the 48, straight drop, quick pass. It's going to be incomplete. Tended out there for, trying to look at that number there. Pass was low. It's incomplete. And I believe that Matthew Swigert, number 15, senior. Wildcat also plays baseball. He's got one flaw, though, James. Coach Gaddis points it out to him all the time. He's a Red Sox fan. You know what that means to Coach Gaddis?
That we like Matthew Swigert.
Oh, yeah, you're a Red Sox fan. Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 48-yard line. Quick pass this time goes to Jaden Williams. Jaden Williams is tackled at the 50-yard line. Wildcats are going to have to need to call one of their timeouts. It's going to be down to 1:57 and counting. Third down and about 8 yards to go. Cole Adams is in the game along with Swigert, their receivers. The Wildcats have Williams and Jonathan Stewart in the ball game. Kendall Jackson, the lone running back. 1:44 to play in the first half. Mitchell Gibbons rolls to his right. Fires it, passes there, passes incomplete. That should be pass interference. It looked like Cole Adams, and he's not arguing much about it, but it looked like the guy had his hands all over his back. It's incomplete.
Yeah, David, and honestly, I give Mitchell credit there. Mitchell could have put a bullet on him, and that pass could have gone the other way. I think that was a well-positioned throw for Mitchell because Cole had to go up and get it, and he was the only person that could have gotten it in that scenario.
20-0, the Wildcats in the lead. Next week, Oak Ridge at Blankenship Field, hopefully. That'll be a 7:30 kickoff. The Wildcats against the Kingsport Dobbins Bennett Indians. Wildcats in punt formation, whatever this formation is. Two punters back. They can run it, and that's Jacob Burvin. He is running it. Jacob Burvin, not quite. He was able to, and he's fast. I mean, he has a track guy, I believe, at one point, and just couldn't quite pick up the first down. That gives other coaches an opportunity to look at that and say they might punt it or they might not. And I don't know that I've ever really honestly seen that formation in high school.
I don't think I have either, David. And honestly, it's a gamble worth taking. You're almost on the 50-yard line, and they get the ball on the other 50. Your defense has played really well. I mean, you got to stop inside the red zone. There's less than a minute and a half on the clock, so you know they're either going to try to get out of here and get out of the half, throw it deep, or maybe run some type of screen.
First down, 10 yards to go for Hardin Valley. 1:29 to play. First half. Back to pass. Pressured. Goes deep. There's the man. Passes there. Matthew Swigert bats it down. Nice play by Matthew. It was high in the air. And initially I thought that Matthew was beaten, but he has enough speed. He got to it. The pass kind of held up in the air just a bit and made a good play.
Yeah, David, and I would say also that Simpson for the Hawks should have led his receiver a little bit more. His receiver had a step or two, but credit Matthew for getting back and recovering and attacking the ball, not just the man.
20-0 Oak Ridge, 1:21 to play here in the first half as once again, the Hawks have it. People are wearing out my phone here. I don't know if we're on the air, we're off the air. I think we're on the air. You might want to check some of these here. Second down, 10 yards to go for Hardin Valley. 1:21 to play. Back to pass. Up for grabs once again, and that's pass interference. They didn't throw the flag. The officials didn't throw the flag. I think the Hawks probably wanted. There was some contact down there with the Oak Ridge defensive back. It's third down, 10 yards to go. 1:14 to play.
Yeah, David, I think two things happened there on that play. It was to the sideline. The receiver was already on the sideline trying to come back in. The ball was toward the numbers there. He slipped and fell. Matthew was trying to recover, and I think one of the things that people think that would have been pass interference is Matthew threw his hands up just trying to deflect the ball, I think, there.
Third down, 10 yards to go, minute 14 to play. The Wildcats can get their hands back on the ball here. They've gone with some pass plays. Surprised they just didn't try to run the ball to kind of get into the dressing room. As it'll be third down, 10 yards to go. He's going to pass again. Floats it out this way. There's nobody there. Throws it to the sideline where it's picked up by one of the Oak Ridge assistant coaches, Brian Wyatt, it would appear, between the mask. And now it's fourth down facing the Hawks. A minute 7 to play, and the Wildcats should get the ball back here. Appreciate all of our helpers here today at Hardin Valley Academy. We appreciate Fox Insurance Group of Oak Ridge once again. And no video on the live stream. Coach Thompson listening to us in Cleveland, Tennessee, I believe. And we're going to get that fixed. The internet's out here. We'll get that fixed for you here. Minute 7 to play. It's fourth down again. Jalen Hayward. Nice return would be nice here. This is the longest half of football in the history of high school football, James.
Yeah, David, and I think one of the things that doesn't help here is Hardin Valley they're obviously trying to score some points and get some momentum going into halftime because they know the Wildcats get the ball to receive in the second half. But all that did is give Oak Ridge time. They got about a minute 07 left, and all that's going to do is they stop the clock. Those 3 passes stop the clock. It gives Oak Ridge time to possibly score.
You know, one thing we've talked about Mitchell Gibbons for the last 3 years, honestly, he throws a very catchable pass, but one thing that I've noticed in this game, he has thrown some bullets here too. A catchable pass, what I mean by that, he throws a pass, he hits him kind of softly sometimes in the hands in just perfect position. Today he's been just rifling him. He's obviously wants to play college football, and he looks really good here in the early going.
Yeah, and I think it's what's credit to him is his receivers are also helping him out. He's got some great receivers, very fast receivers and very experienced receivers. I mean, Jonathan Stewart is a very experienced receiver. Played a lot last year, played this year. Preston Turner the same way. But you really like the work ethic of not just Mitchell, but all the Wildcats so far that you're seeing. Their hard work seems to be paying off.
Yeah, Coach Caddis says one of the best groups he's ever had. Once again, the Hawks to punt here, fourth down, 10. Here's a high kick. Jalen's going to let it bounce this time, get away from it. It's going to take a great Hardin Valley. He's going to pick it up at the 10. And then I think he called for a fair catch. I think that was what he did. I think he was waving his hands almost to the point where he's getting away from it, but he started to run it, and you can't do that. The Wildcats will have 57.3 seconds. For those of you, we will get the streaming video going when we can. We are sitting here, and I believe Mark says it is back online here with us. It's just been kind of a nightmare, honestly, here at Hardin Valley.
Yeah, but, honestly, the play on the field's been pretty good for the Wildcats, so that's a positive for us.
The only negative here is we lost a camera tonight.
And a cameraman as well. We're not sure what Bryson's doing right now.
He's under the tent, staying out of the weather. 57.3 seconds. Just kidding. We like Bryson. It'll be for the Wildcats. First down, 10 yards to go as they're trying to figure out exactly where they're going to put them. And Patty Bingham is listening to the ball game here, and she says it's close to her bedtime. It's close to all of our bedtimes, Patty. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball's at the 9-yard line. So, Patty, you can go to bed. I think we're gonna win this one. 57.3 seconds to play first half, as the Wildcats will have it first down 10.
It's been a very long half, and who knew that we would have a game going into midnight possibly in Knox County?
I wouldn't think so, as the Wildcats, Mitchell Gibbons hands it off to Kendall, and Kendall moves the ball to the 15-yard line. 52 seconds to play here. And clock is ticking down. The Wildcats quickly to the line. The Wildcats have 2 of their timeouts remaining. 40 seconds to play. First half, the Wildcats on top 20-0. Second down, 4 yards to go. Mitchell across the way, passes low, incomplete. Intended for Jalen Hayward, stops the clock with 31.4 seconds to play. I like what you said a moment ago. I agree with you. And Coach Gaddis has been telling me how deep this receiving core is, and they really are. You lose, a great one last year, Isaiah Johnson. Just a really good one. But the Wildcats have a lot of people that can fill his shoes. Yeah,
and I think that was a smart play call there. As it was just a little slant route to Jalen Hayward, more of a skinny post, just trying to get upfield. If you get a first down, it stops the clock temporarily as the Wildcat offense is back out.
Third down, 5 yards to go once again. And Mitchell hands it off to Jaden Williams. I didn't see it. I was kind of screened a little bit, and it'll be down to 23 seconds to play. The Hawks can stop it if they elect to. They've got one timeout, but it looks like they're just going to let it tick on out. Hopefully we'll have a very short halftime here, and of course we'll have the statistics, and that will be the final play of the first half. So Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 20-0 as we play here at Hardin Valley Academy, and now they finally do call the timeout. 4.5 seconds. Now why wouldn't you have called that when it was 20 seconds to go?
All I can think of is maybe they're trying to set something up. Punt return, a revert. Maybe they have some special reverse punt return. I got nothing for you. That's pretty baffling.
I was looking at their coaching staff here, and there's a couple of Oak Ridge ties on their coaching staff. You remember Paul Maynard? He used to coach at Oak Ridge. He is on their coaching staff. Matt Stevens, former Wildcat player. His dad was on the 63 state championship basketball team and was a coaching member of the 1991 state championship Wildcats. So some ties with our Hardin Valley friends.
Well, and there's also some former opponents that we've seen as well. A lot of Farragut players or Farragut guys. I think Reese Browning is on their staff who played, if I'm correct, maybe early teens, late 2000s. Was a good quarterback for Farragut, best I remember. So a lot of familiar faces over there.
Yeah, didn't have the physique of a quarterback. Kind of reminded me of that Halls quarterback from last night, who was pretty good, but he just was not built really like you would think a quarterback would be built.
No, and I think Farragut during that time was switching to more of a passing offense as well, and Reese could sling it.
4 seconds to play here. The Wildcats are going to be forced to punt. Jacob Bourbon, you know, what could happen here? You got to guard against a bad snap here. You know, goes over Jacob's head into the end zone, and Jacob's the only one back there. Jacob Bourbon in punt formation, 4.5 seconds. And let's see here, 4th down 4. It was a high snap, but Jacob is going to punt it. It's a good wobbly kick, and nobody's going to touch it. It's a great punt. His average is going to go up. Coach Saunders is going to be pleased as punch as that one goes all the way back and down at around the 20-yard line of Hardin Valley. And that is the final play of this first half. Good half of football. Took forever to get to this point. We started this one about 2.5 hours ago, and the Wildcats have a 20-0 lead.
Yeah, it's not exactly the ideal situation, but you love the score on the scoreboard. Positive note, coming back out at halftime, Wildcats get the ball. They will receive, so it might be interesting to see what Hardin Valley does if they come out with an onside kick or a pop-up or something.
Let's take a break here. We appreciate everybody who's listening to our broadcast and all of our sponsors, especially our corporate sponsor, our new one, Fox Insurance Group of Oak Ridge. We're going to take a break here, send it back to Brian Bennett while we get a little situated. We've been discombobulated. We had to run from the car back here to start the ball game. Wildcats on top, 20-0. We'll be back to Hardin Valley Academy following this 3-minute timeout. Y'all can sit down. Y'all can stop.